Today is December 19th, 2012, and welcome to the Field Report. I was covering some news topics earlier on my Facebook page, but having been away from my Facebook page, I was just muddling over some of the news, and I have to tell you, there's so much news, I don't know where to start. Of course, the ongoing story continues on the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting, along with other stories regarding shootings. There was another story that was surfacing about another lockdown in a Connecticut school. I believe that was a day or two earlier. There was another shooting event that took the lives of two police officers in Alabama. So let's be honest, shootings have not stopped. And that is very unfortunate that we still have situations that are occurring even after a mass murder like the one that happened at Sandy Hook Elementary. I was also previewing another story about a child that was interviewed, and the parents' reactions, and so much of the reaction that you're seeing on social media. It's the story just probably won't go away for some time. There's a lot of trauma that comes with this story, and strange. And it wasn't just what it was a couple months ago. We were dealing with a Hurricane Sandy. Boy, I think this is a different Hurricane Sandy came and visited Connecticut in a different kind of way. This has been a hurricane of events that have happened to people in that region. There's no words for it. I could sit here all day and explain to you what I think and believe, and I believe the media has definitely had their say in a lot of that. Yeah, it's so sad that we have to report news and then there's an antidote for all that. Well, if there was such an easy, quick fix, this would never have happened to begin with. I think that society in American society, let's just keep it focus on that for the time being. It's deteriorating and so unstable with an economy that has just been shifting from day to day. Just the outside influences in everyday life. It makes you wonder how you can cope just with all that. And there are ways of coping. The outside stimuli, I was referring to this earlier in a post, how important it is to just get out and exercise and just, experience a little of that fresh air, or just take a brisk walk. These are ways that we can simplify our life a little and keep it back to simple. Unfortunately, as I was covering a lot of that news stuff I was saying earlier, trying to find all the news stories, it's almost hard to believe there's so much news. I'm not going to make this a news report. Let's be honest. I mean, I have been away from the news stuff for some time, and I will be almost till the end of the year because I am in the process of moving. So I was just going to touch on those topics while I have the chance to. I don't even know really what to say. The Mayan calendar events, the doomsday prophecy stuff that you hear a lot about, and then the next day or two you're going to hear a lot more about it. But some of that news coverage, you're probably getting a preview of that too. So while you can access the news and media and topics that cover these topics, and some other world events, Syria, where I believe there's the president of Syria, who's not a part of Assad's circle, said that they do not believe Assad is going to be in power. And some of the other things about the warships over on the along the Syrian waterways where the U.S. ships are stationed, they've been asked to return to their location. U.S. and Egypt, the whole thing with the transfer of F-16s and Mi tanks, another major controversy about that because of all the issues around the fiscal cliff debate and how our own defense is getting cut because we can't afford it, yet we can afford to give away F-16s. So while we might know that the common knowledge is usually you don't give away things when you have no money, I guess common sense has lost its place. And it's way worse than that because, common sense used to be the number one antidote to most of our everyday problems. We know that there are solutions, and some of them are so simple, but I guess this is because there's an ideological debate going on. And I think a lot of people are disenfranchised by what happened in the election, but even more so what you're hearing from the GOP and kind of this whole fiscal cliff debate. Still not a quick fix to that either. So those are some of the things I've been muddled over, and I'm sure there's more news that I couldn't even touch the surface on. Unfortunately, there's just so much. It's hard to squeeze it in a small field report. Our field report episodes are only really 15 to 20 minutes long, so it's hard to cover a lot of the major news topics and get into real stories. But again, we just like to report on some basic news stories and kind of get a heads up. Well, okay, the big news being we got less than a week till Christmas, and of course you're hearing a lot of interesting stories from shopping online and some shopping bargains that I thought was interesting. You go to www.decide.com. You know that prices can fluctuate so much that if you go to this website, decide.com, that there is actually a window of time to buy certain products, because you know how they kind of create some leverage. While they might post something that would be cheaper in a couple hours, they will hike it up 3 times as much. That you have to ride this wave that the prices of major products and appliances fluctuate that much. They would have to, so they could create that leverage. It would be okay to sell a bunch of items at a sale price, they have to up it again to make their money back. So I heard that, and I thought this was an interesting topic. Go to www.decide.com, and it'll show you exactly how you can shop for those bargains in that window of time where you could actually spend 3 times as less than you would normally if it wasn't on sale. So again, that's just seeing the market is fluctuating so much. It's also good to have that, something user friendly while you're shopping. That's decide.com. And there's a lot of other really great, interesting things that came from that. I heard some other topics as far as online shopping, last minute shoppers. Of course, if you get your online shopping done, they're still offering some kind of free shipping. Look for those bargains. And I've seen a lot of great bargains online that are preferably, you'd rather get it online anyway, and it comes straight to the person's door. So I think the time is almost up you probably got today, if you're lucky tomorrow, depending on where you're shipping, that it'll get there on time for Christmas. So I know that a lot of focus has been brought on a lot of the Sandy Hook Elementary students shooting, and this is, of course, Christmas. So how do you celebrate the holidays if you've experienced a tragedy? That's going to be one of the topics I'm going to cover on the Weekender for the field report. How do you cope with loss, and how do you spend the holidays? Maybe it's the first holiday since maybe a loved one's passed away, or maybe it's been 10 years. But everybody has... you break from tradition, unfortunately, because tradition does change, especially if you have a person in your immediate family who has passed away. In my family, tradition was abandoned a long time ago. It's hard to hold on to tradition, even for the best of families. I think things really do change, and that's one of those things. It's not something you want to see happen, but that in fact does happen. So how do you endure the holidays, or how do you cope, or how do you enjoy the holidays? Much less after a major loss in your family, or immediate significant one has left you, or how do you deal with that? How do you deal with loss during the holidays? Because while it's okay to be sad, here's the terrible part. It's not okay to be in a pity party or feel sorry for yourself and not in a bad way, but because it's not good for you. And there's other ways to promote positive feelings even when you feel your worst. So we're going to cover a little bit about that. But here are some great things that you can do. If you're alone for the holidays, don't be sad. It's a very peaceful time to be alone. I have spent a couple Christmases alone, and while I might have been sad and I might have really missed out on the family aspect of waking up Christmas morning, I have had some wonderful Christmas mornings where we woke up to the mountains and had coffee and eggs and just kind of hung out, and it's a lot of fun. And we try to have a special Christmas luau and do things like that at home, for people that are single and by themselves and really don't have any family, but they have something to look forward to. So there's a lot of single people without children, or just a lot of maybe newly divorced or separated people that have to find a way to enjoy their holiday and get their mind off of those things. But in fact, there are a lot of people who are experiencing loss, and it definitely sometimes exaggerates itself more over the holidays. Sometimes I just can't wait till it's all over. Sometimes you just can't wait till, oh God, let's get this Christmas stuff over with. Well, let's be honest. I mean, it can get kind of overwhelming, decorating and all the build up and some of the hype, how it gets hyped up. But we want to just wish you all a very wonderful day here from the Field Report here, Wednesday, December 19th, 2012. God bless, and talk to you soon here at the Field Report.